Women's national duels gave Team Illinois more than wins, losses, and match results. It gave the coaches, athletes, and families a clear picture of where Illinois girls wrestling stands right now and what needs to be done before Fargo. Some things worked, some things exposed areas of growth. Freestyle gave us a look at how prepared our athletes are for July. Today, we are talking with two Team Illinois coaches who were there, Liz Short and Sarah Doty. We'll talk about the overall experience, what worked, where Illinois came up short, what we'll learn in freestyle and Greco, and what lessons athletes should carry into the next few weeks before Fargo. Welcome back to the Illinois Girls Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Lena. Today's episode is an important one because we are looking back the Women's Nationals duel, looking ahead to the 2026 U.S. Marine Corps Junior and 16U Nationals in Fargo. I am joined by two Team Illinois coaches, Liz Short and Sarah Doty, who just came back from coaching Team Illinois at Women's National Duels. And just to clarify for families listening, Fargo for the girls is freestyle. Greco was part of the dual experience, but the July national tournaments for the girls is freestyle only. So when we talk about Greco today, we are talking about what the style revealed and how it can still help athletes grow. So Liz and Sarah, thank you both for being here today. You just came back from women's national duels with Team Illinois. Before we get into match details, what was the overall experience like?
I was a junior, so for me, it felt really good. I was really proud of the team and the girls that were there. Really, they just put in 100% effort every match, so it was a good experience for us. I had 16U, so I coached 16U. We had a mixture of girls with experience who kind of took over natural leadership roles, and then some newer girls introducing them to Illinois and being able to represent the state. So it was a great experience. We kind of came together as a team, and also we had first year doing Greco, so that came with some fun things to kind of see and learn and be together.
What was the energy like around the team?
Yeah, the energy for us was really good. It was really positive. And I think it was with the other teams too. It seemed that everyone was enjoying themselves and enjoying representing Team Illinois.
Fun. What stood out to both of you about this group of girls?
I think just like that we're trying to build a culture, and just it reminded me that kind of Illinois girls wrestling, like we've been trying to build it, that it isn't coming, it's here. So when you put on an Illinois singlet, you're wrestling for a lot more than yourself. It's just your state as well. And kind of that team culture is what helps to win the duels. And that every point matters, and it can kind of swing the decisions and change the energy in the entire duel.
Oh, yeah. Talking about 1 point matters here. That definitely showed in this duel. Was there something that you are very proud of?
For us, for 16U, I was really proud of just some of the leadership on our team, the way that some of the girls took leadership and ownership of our team. We kind of met throughout the duels. We had team meetings, and we kind of looked at what our team needed. And one of the things that we realized was that the energy on the bench mattered. So we kind of took an inventory and realized that when we have our energy up and when we cheer for each other, that helps us wrestle better. So we tried to have people to kind of manage that energy and keep that energy up so we could perform at our best, because we realized that's what helps us.
That is so important. Were there any moments that really showed the growth of Illinois girls wrestling?
I think for the juniors, it was really Going into Greco, it showed their willingness to represent Team Illinois and just do everything they can, even though it's a new style. They were all extremely coachable and great with putting in that energy that Liz is talking about in every duel. And yeah, I was really proud of that and felt that that was a lot of growth from teams in the past, just being there to be for the team and not just as an individual. I think for us, like the group, the depth of just wrestling, like the depth of other teams, there wasn't an easy match, and just the quality of wrestling was just really amazing to see.
Okay. For athletes who have never been to a national duel event, how is this experience different from going to individual tournaments?
I think it's cool because you get to lean on your team, kind of all those things we just talked about. It's a lot more energy and support. And there's a lot of pride in representing Team Illinois as a female. And there's a lot of history there too. So I think that it's kind of more fun and lets stress off your shoulders because you get to be with a group of women that care about the same thing and you all have the same mindset while you're there. And yeah, very different than just being an individual
Mhm.
at a tournament doing your own thing. You get to watch wrestling. So what we kind of found throughout the duels was maybe like different themes. So what was going on maybe with like short offense or how people were attacking, and we could watch other your teammates wrestle and see kind of maybe what you were struggling with, they were struggling with, or what you were having success with, they were having success with, or vice versa. So it's kind of cool to see the actual like techniques of things and different themes with states and wrestling in general.
Let's start by talking about what worked. What do you feel worked well for Team Illinois, Liz?
I feel that we were together as a state. So we had a team warm up. We kind of knew what each other needed. We were warming each other up. We were cooling down and just kind of being together as a state. So taking all of our strengths that we had from different clubs and kind of putting them together to help each other.
Sarah?
Yeah, I would agree. Just being together as a team, and even as 14U, 16U, and junior, we kind of split those teams to be able to be together and do their warm up and everything together.
Sarah, were there things that girls did consistently well across all the age groups and styles?
I didn't get to watch very much of the other teams because I was with juniors. A few of them that I saw, it was really head hands defense. So technically, I think that we're really good at head hands in Illinois. We're tough and we're not afraid to get our face in the way, is a technique thing that I saw. And really the energy again across the board was great. I think every girl was there to support the team. Yeah, I agree as far as just like fundamental, like being in good position, and like when we have good head hands defense, that's going to open up our lines of attack and open up our offense. And I think in general, just as far as like having confidence and pulling the trigger, we weren't afraid to do that. So we weren't afraid to go out there and score and put ourselves out there.
Because did you see good effort, good team support, good adjustments, strong hand fighting, conditioning, and mental toughness?
Right. Oh yeah. I think just yeah, using our ties and clearing ties. That's something we worked on at camp, and that carried through with Greco. So just like being creative and problem solving and finding different ways to score. And the other thing was just like wrestling through positions. So just not stopping and keep going.
Were there moments where athletes responded really well after a loss or tough match?
Yeah, I think that we had a lot of those. The junior team had a lot of really close, tough duels, and I was proud of all of them. I don't think that anyone did anything unsportsmanlike after they lost. They were all very supportive of each other, and they would come and talk to the coach when they were ready to learn from the experience. And One in particular, our 100-pounder, was her first time on the junior dual team. And she kind of went 50-50, winning and losing. And she had a smile every time she came off the mat. So that was a really cool thing to see with her.
How about the 16U?
16U, yeah. I think we kind of tried to have a routine. So after they were done wrestling, we'd have them cool down. So we'd have them do a couple sprints just to kind of bring their heart rate down, and that's good for kind of mentally as well. So getting your bearings, and then once they were finished with their cool down, they would come and talk to a coach and get some feedback. And it was cool just to see taking in that feedback and using it for future matches.
What did you see from the girls in the close matches?
Just like the grit of Illinois. I think that we were just gritty and pushed through some uncomfortable situations. So we kind of said, be comfortable being uncomfortable, because, that's what's going to push you through that match, and every point counts. And maybe you were outmatched, but just finding a way to score 1 point, right? Not get pinned. That's huge in terms of a duel. So just finding a way to keep us in there and keep our team in the match.
Did any athlete surprise you in a good way? Not necessarily by winning every match, but by competing hard, improving, or showing growth?
Yeah, for me, it would be Zoe Dodger. She was our 110 on the juniors team, and she was asked a little bit later because we had some people fall through. So she just was so coachable. In every match, she took the opportunity to get better. And it was just really cool to see her there. And really, she's one that stands out. But a lot of our team had a grateful attitude to be there and took the opportunity to get better.
Nice. Liz?
I think a big one for us was Alex Penley. Her energy just is infectious, and she was a good, energy meter. So when she saw that the energy on the bench kind of dwindled, she was able to get everyone going again and acknowledge that. Kamira Patrick, she was awesome for us. She's kind of signed up later for us. We got her on board and won some really close matches and went out there fearless. Chloe Perez was another one who we were able to get on board later, and she really stepped up. And we just had a good mixture of some girls who had a lot of experience, but just spreading that to girls that were newer on the team as well.
And we have not seen a whole lot of Chloe Perez since she was out with her injury for a while. So that was interesting.
Yeah, she looked awesome. Yeah, especially with Greco. She was like a arm drag machine. It was great.
Oh, what does Illinois already have that we can keep building on?
I think Illinois has a great foundation for wrestling. We have so many supportive families. We have so many supportive clubs and coaches. I think all the club coaches that gave us their girls, they did a great job preparing them, ready to go. And the girls came in ready to go, knowledgeable, excited about representing Team Illinois. So I think we have a great foundation, and it's a great wrestling state.
Sarah, do you got anything else to add?
Yeah, I would add, we kind of talked about culture earlier, and that's something that's definitely being built right now that the girls this year did a great job of. Just everyone being grateful to be there, competing through every match, and just showing up for their team.
Cool. Now let's talk about some tough lessons. Let's just honestly look and think, and where do you feel Illinois came short? Let's start with Sarah, with juniors.
Every match was so close. I don't feel anyone gave up. There was one duel that we had that was hard. It was the last day for Greco, so they were exhausted, but it was one main girl got caught and pinned, and the other girls kind of domino affected after that. So really was an energy thing in that duel. But technique-wise specifically, for the juniors is probably being able to be more confident in their attacks. But they definitely wrestled through and competed in every match.
How about 16U?
I think we kind of like started off really anxious. So we were just kind of like attacking to attack, and we hadn't like found our rhythm yet on that first day, first match. So just like getting those like nerves out, maybe we could do a better job of like maybe getting a harder warm up or just kind of figuring out our energy level, what our like optimal energy level was. I think it was a long tournament. So rolling into Greco, just kind of like flipping the switch, making sure we were like back to being energized, I think was tough for us to do when we were tired and some people were uncomfortable, not like they hadn't wrestled Greco. So, and they were kind of bumped and bruised. So just kind of like finding a way to keep that energy up. And I think it was a good lesson because Fargo's going to be 3 days. So making sure that you come out each of those days when you are tired and kind of had a lot of wrestling and maybe like overstimulated, but making sure you're staying on track and keeping that battery charged. Just the weight management. Going into Fargo this year, they're going to have to make weight again that third day. So something we learned with a couple girls was don't not eat and fuel yourself because you're worried about weight. We have to fuel ourselves and have energy to compete in the days that we're there to make it to that third day anyways. So that's something we definitely learned, and girls were able to take data back and figure it out for Fargo.
Did they have to weigh in multiple times?
For Greco, they did, yes. There was a 4-pound allowance for the second weigh-in.
Yes, I feel like 4 days. That was a lot, and considering that you get to all the way placement matches, and typically you'd be done, but now here you go. You have to start all over again the next day. That could have not possibly be easy.
Yeah.
Were there teams from other states that had a dedicated Greco teams?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think the only thing I saw was Missouri brought 2 teams and then condensed down to 1 for Greco.
Uh-huh.
And maybe a few teams did that, but yeah, we bring all ours on one team because we want to make sure we have the best team and we're not splitting up our girls. Is kind of our philosophy on that.
Okay. Awesome. And I feel like the girls did fantastic. Okay, do you feel like we were giving out points in similar situations?
I think for us, and this happened last year, was kind of a crackdown position. So we try to sprawl, they suck our leg in, and we're on our butt.
Uh-huh.
And we're trying to hit back up. And we did better than last year, but that is still a position that we struggled with. So trying to fight to get our hips back on top to sprawl and go behind.
Mhm.
Instead of just sitting on our butt trying to hold, and then eventually they get the takedown or exposure.
Mhm.
Keeping wrestling through it, like it's not a takedown yet. Like sometimes people just like stopped wrestling and gave up.
Yeah.
Did you? And then the parterre too. Like someone gets a takedown on us, and we like just don't defend it. Like we don't go into defense. Like we got to be strong to not give up those turns because someone gets on top and they have a good lace or a good gut and it ends the match where it could be like, back up on our feet.
Yeah, it could be done in 30 seconds if you're not ready for it. How do you feel like there were areas where other states they looked more prepared comparing to previous years?
Sarah, did any states like surprise you?
Yeah.
I think that it wasn't like in a specific area, but I feel that Ohio and Indiana stood out to me with their improvement from years past. And I don't know what that factor is, but I know the last 2 years they've hosted USA Wrestling regional camps and they had their dual team girls at those camps and made it mandatory for both of those. So it seems like very cohesive getting them together, which me and Liz are trying to do, and a lot of the other coaches. It's just Illinois is very big.
Yeah, absolutely. Did I ever surprise you? I was sort of kind of was expecting a little bit more of them.
I think Washington surprised us. It's been growing like this army, this girls' army in Washington. Getting good talent there. But Iowa, I don't. Did you guys wrestle Iowa, Sarah? We did. That's one that we lost by one match.
Okay.
It was in a pool play. I'd have to look it up. I'm sorry, because
Okay.
the 4 days they all blurred
Yeah.
together.
I can imagine. What is more, was it more about the technique, confidence, experience, conditioning, match strategy, or is it combination of everything? What do you feel?
I think it's a combination of everything. It's really anytime you get an opportunity to be on the mat, it's a tool to give you data, right? So whether you win or lose, doesn't matter the result. Now you have another match under your belt that you can learn from. And that could be mental, nutrition, physical, technique, all of it.
And for athletes listening, how should they hear this feedback without feeling discouraged?
I would say it's just a good way to get data and kind of like a way to expose your weaknesses. So we can look and see what positions, was there a theme, right? Was there a theme of us getting scored on, maybe an individual theme? And it could be as a state too, like what were we getting scored on? What were we scoring with? And using that data, there's still time to make adjustments heading into Fargo. So use it as trying to make those weaknesses your strengths. Okay.
Let's move on. Let's talk about freestyle section specifically. Since Fargo for girls is freestyle only, let's talk about what freestyle matches showed. How did we do overall as a team? Because I'm sure not all our listeners were like myself, sitting and watching and paying attention. So how did 16 you do?
16, you did great. I was just impressed by just the way just our experience showed. We had some girls with a lot of experience, and it just really showed on the mat with their confidence and just the way they presented themselves. So on the first day of freestyle, we were undefeated. So we had wins over Oklahoma, Michigan, and Missouri, and that put us in the gold and silver pool. And our last match of the day against Missouri, we won just in this nail biter. So it came down to the last match, and we won the bracket. So we headed it into the gold and silver pool the next day, and we won our first two and then fell to California. And it was actually a 3-way tie in the bracket or in the pool. So it came down to our head-to-head match with California. So that put us into the third place bracket, and we lost to Pennsylvania so we took fourth.
All right. How about juniors?
Yeah, we did good. It's hard because we didn't have a lot of our starters, like our state champs, that got to come. But again, I was really proud of this group. We had a better record than we have in the past, even though our placing didn't show that. So it's kind of weird how that can work. We made it to the semis of our pool, and we lost to California Gold. Really close duel. And then we ended up taking third in that pool, which dropped us to bronze copper. And again, we did really well. We only lost one match. And yeah, it technically takes 11th. Yeah, again, we had a 6-2 record. So just a lot of really great matches and a lot of grit that was shown from the girls.
Awesome. And yeah, I saw some of the girls, they had, God, how many matches? They had lots of matches over a course of 4 days.
Yeah.
One thing.
Oh, they had a ton. Yeah, that's why we try and load the lineup with extras.
One thing I noticed from the outside that some wrestlers who are usually very aggressive looked more cautious in certain positions. Do you think that comes from the national level pressure, fear of giving up big points, have unfamiliar opponents, or just trying to wrestle smart?
I think it could be both. It kind of depends on the girl. I saw both of those scenarios where people were protecting their status or PIN number or whatever it may be, while others took the opportunity to take risk and but also wrestled smart. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're wrestling a tougher competition as well. So kind of, you have to do everything. Like, you have to really set up your offense. You're not just going to go out there and shoot right away, right? Like, we got to do a good setup, a good finish. Like, everything has to be on point to work on a national stage. So I think it was more challenging competition as well.
Mhm. For girls preparing for Fargo, what are the top freestyle priorities over the next few weeks?
I think I would say transition to turns and parterre defense, because it goes both ways. So if you can get on top and get a turn, and you can end the match and kind of save some of that energy, I think that would really help. And then just making sure we defend those turns as well, so it doesn't end the match right away. So I think that's going to be kind of the difference wrestling at Fargo, is maybe like your ability levels on your feet are equal, but top and bottom, I think you can make a lot of strides in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Liz?
Yeah, I agree. I would add short offense. I saw a lot of girls being able to get the head underneath them, because we're really good at hand fighting in Illinois. So girls get tired, they take bad shots. But something we can improve on is getting the corner quicker. So being able to be a little bit more violent, in the words of Zane Richards, and getting to the hamstring, running that corner right away instead of sitting in a front headlock or in front.
Okay. Thanks, Sarah. Now let's talk a little bit about Greco. Illinois does not really have a dedicated girls Greco team or deep girls Greco development system yet. So going into the duels, what was the plan?
To have really great Greco coaches. And we did. We had Zane Richards was phenomenal for the juniors team. He's just has such a high wrestling IQ in general. So he was phenomenal. Mike Pila was at 16U. And then we had Dominic Lucrecio at 14U. So just dedicated coaches that love Greco, and we're excited about the opportunity for a new division of it. So with the females.
Mm-hmm.
I think we definitely got them bought in.
Okay, do you feel were the hardest adjustments for the athletes who mostly train in folk style and freestyle?
I think like the heavier hand fighting and ties, and like using your ties and using your body in a different way and problem solving in a different way to score points. I know for me, like coaching the head position was a little bit different, because like in freestyle and folk style, your like head has to be in a position to like stop a leg attack or shot. So it was kind of an adjustment, but I think like using ties was the biggest one.
What are your suggestions for the girls when it comes to Greco? Do you feel that they should spend more time, attend Greco opportunities when there are some? And how can
Yeah,
really
I just think
Greco actually help their freestyle or the folk style?
Yeah, I just think taking any opportunity they can get to work on it, and really, like Liz kind of talked about, the hand fighting was a little bit different, and it's more of a chess match and very intentional. So I think that can definitely help you in folk style and in freestyle. Being able to control a body, your opponent's body, in a different way is always going to help you in different situations. I think it just offers opportunities to like broadening your horizon in wrestling, and maybe you add a tool to your toolbox by doing Greco and looking at a position in a different way. So I always think like just take advantage of every opportunity that you can. Going to add to the overall you as a wrestler, right? Like it's Greco-Roman wrestling, it's folk style wrestling, it's freestyle wrestling, and you're a wrestler. So just it adds to that.
Wrestling is wrestling. Well, now let's get into the section I call Lesson Learned. So, looking back at the entire event, what are the biggest lessons Team Illinois should take from women's national duels? Liz, let's start with 16U.
I think our biggest lessons were just the length of the competition and keeping our energy up and keeping that battery charged and finding ways to come out in our matches ready, even though maybe when our body's tired or our mind's tired, but just finding ways to recharge that battery so we come into each match fresh and new and ready. So it's a long competition.
Mm-hmm. How about juniors?
Yeah, I think the continuing to have confidence and adjusting in positions. Yeah, I saw a lot of the girls just go out and attack and be confident. And I think if they can take that into nationals, they're going to do a really great job.
What should coaches take away from this competition? Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I learned like every athlete kind of is different. So we did like a profile. So I sent out a thing asking athletes to kind of evaluate like how do they want to be talked to in the 30-second break. So some athletes were like, I want all technique. Some athletes were like, I want to be motivational. And just take into account like all athletes are different and maybe respond to different things, and that's okay. Yeah, I think another part of that is having other coaches too on the corner. I know me and Liz have talked about this. I think we do a really good job of not having an ego. You know, sometimes in Fargo, there's supposed to be two coaches in a corner, but you have a crowd of people, you know, on those later days. So not yelling over people, kind of stepping back and allowing the athlete to have what they need instead of thinking about what you can say.
Okay, what should parents understand after watching this level competition?
I think that there's always ways to improve is the biggest thing to get from any national competition is you're never going to be the best. Even if you're a national champ, there's always something that you could do better. And that's shown even at our elite levels with our Olympians who are Olympic gold champ one year and could lose and not be on a world team the next year. So there's always ways to improve. That's why it's not about the result. It's about continuing to take opportunities and being grateful for the time that you get. I just think we had some great parents. Like over the course of our competition, there was a big parent crowd. We had a big parent crowd and supporting, and we could hear them cheering, and they were there at the competition. They were there supporting their athletes. They were asking the coaches if we needed anything. It was just so awesome to have all that support from all the parents. It really like helped us move forward and really helped.
Okay, Liz, so what happened, for those that watched and got a little bit confused, what happened with the placement match against Pennsylvania and the 16U?
Oh, for Greco?
Yes.
So I actually had to leave. I had to go home and I had a dog, someone watching my dog, and they were going on vacation. So I had to leave right before that match.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some discrepancy with some team points, and they were kind of really strict about communications with the refs, with the table. And we had a bigger coaching staff. So some of the coaches that weren't on the bench were kind of communicating with the referees, which caused a discrepancy in team points.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the match, we had an athlete kind of that was really excited and ran on the mat, and we had another team point deducted. So
Yeah.
that's
It was an incredibly close match that we definitely would have won if we did not have 3 penalty points.
correct.
Yes.
So there was a warning and then a point taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the last part of the like unsportsmanlike running on the mat, and that gave us another team point. So
Yes.
live and learn.
Absolutely. That was a very hard lesson to learn. For the athlete who had a great duel, what should they do next before Fargo?
Yeah, continue to work. I mean, I think we have a couple girls that were undefeated and they definitely weren't perfect. So I think continuing to work to improve on their skills, to strengthen their strengths and strengthen their weaknesses too. So that's why it's such a great opportunity to go to duels.
Liz, do you have anything else to add?
We had a lot of athletes who did very well, but just kind of as a check-in, maybe like take a look at, okay, this is how I scored my points. This is how I got points scored on me, and just trying to look at like kind of an assessment of things that you need to work on. And you can always work on your endurance, on cardio, on mat strategy. There's always something, some way to improve.
Mhm. Now, for an athlete who struggled at the duels, what do you feel they should do next?
I think the same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sarah?
Yeah, I agree. I would have the same answer. Again, I'm not a coach that, yes, results matter because it's a data point, but it's just that. It's a data point. It's not who you are as a wrestler. So whether you were undefeated or didn't win a match, there's always something to improve on.
Okay. And I don't know if that would be difficult to do, but what is one thing you feel every Fargo bound wrestler should clean up before the Fargo camp and a competition?
I would say big one's parterre.
Mhm.
Just being creative with our turns and looking for ways to score points. So kind of changing your mindset from folk style, where we're very looking to secure takedowns, and but just looking for exposure, like kind of flipping our switch, and just there's so many more ways to score points in freestyle. So kind of looking at that, being creative with how you're scoring. I think just fundamentals, looking at, like we talked about, head and hands defense, and also you're just having a baseline conditioning and making sure your weight's under control. You don't want to spend all this energy cutting weight. You want to focus on wrestling.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think that parterre is always one we can improve on, parterre defense specifically.
Hmm. And probably also eating and sleeping.
Yeah. And those are, yeah, sleeping is something free you can do. It doesn't cost money. You don't have to go to a special practice or training facility. Like, that's something you can easily change.
Hmm. Absolutely. And we want to make sure that you're all well rested because Fargo is going to be difficult. And it's not just the competition itself. The camp, the Fargo camp is very intense as well. So the more rest you get right now, the better are your clean eating habits, then the better off you will be, hopefully.
Agreed.
Well, thank you so much, Liz Short and Sarah Doty, for joining me and sharing your perspective from the women's national duels. And we're excited and looking forward to seeing how our team does at the Fargo competitions.
Thank you for helping spread the word of girls wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarita.
Okay, thanks. To every Team Illinois athletes who competed, this event matters. Whether you came home proud, frustrated, motivated, or all of those things at once, you now have valuable information. Fargo is coming fast, and the girls' tournament is freestyle. So take what you learn, watch your matches, ask questions, clean up positions, and keep building. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow the Illinois Girls Wrestling Podcast and share it with our wrestling family. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more Illinois girls wrestling stories, interviews, and resources. We're about to go on vacation and have some time planning the next season. We have a lot of fun and informative topics that we'll have in the next season. Until next time, keep learning, keep showing up, and keep moving Illinois girls wrestling forward. I'm your host, Lena Burkett, and until next time.